Our next competitor is Jacob Hawkins from the School of Agricultural and Resource Economics. When Jacob started to formulate the research question for his PhD, he asked himself, what am I passionate about? He answered himself, climate change and Chinese food. Jacob is supervised by Associate Professor Chumbo Ma, Associate Professor Stephen Scalisi, and Associate Professor Fan Zhang. His thesis title is The Growing Carbon Footprint of China's Changing Diet. His 3MT thesis title is China's Changing Diet and Greenhouse Gases, the Meat of the Matter. Jacob Hawkins.
Years ago, during my bachelor's degree, I lived in San Francisco. And when my friends and I went to our favorite Chinese restaurant there were no menus. Instead, the owner would seat you and say, okay, how many want beer? How many vegetarian? So now today, many more people are becoming vegetarian because of the harmful effects of meat production on the environment. And the question of whether and how much meat can be in a diet can have major ramifications, particularly for a country as large as China. My study area is the greenhouse gases associated with China's changing diet. As China has become wealthier, its diet has shifted away from grains and cereals with a small amount of meat to a diet with more fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, meat, and dairy products. The literature shows that, not surprisingly, the greenhouse gases associated with China's food consumption have also substantially increased. In my research, I'm using a technique called index decomposition analysis to see whether these increased greenhouse gas emissions are a result of increased food consumption, the types of foods being consumed, or the technologies used to produce these foods. Now, the big question that is of interest, though, is that while China's food consumption, while China's consumption of meat and dairy has increased over 200% between 1991 and 2011, even taking account for trade and import, the greenhouse gases for these foods have only increased by about 70%. This is a result of production methods that have become more technologically efficient. Now, while China's consumption of livestock products have increased by 430 million tons, these improved production methods have reduced it by 240 million tons. Now, there are very valid concerns that over how much more efficient the livestock industry can become. Meat will always disproportionately generate more greenhouse gas relative to crops. But my research is finding that while China's diet is changing with increasing wealth, that innovation is limiting the rise of greenhouse gases associated with meat consumption to levels well below what has been feared. It is my hope that human ingenuity can go a long way towards helping us solve our climate change problems. I look forward to exploring this further into the meat of the matter. Thank you.